What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of MontySpeakss. I know. I sound a little weird right now. I promise you I'm not doing no little voice thing. I've been coming down with a sickness, but I'm alright. That ain't gonna stop nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just 'cause I'm sick don't mean it stop my voice. Anyway, without further ado, this one here, episode 4, is self-control. Now, when discussing self-control, I want to point this out for a moment. I am not speaking from a perspective like I have it all under control, or like I know everything, or like I am the spokesperson for self-control by any means. Shoot, I barely even have self-control myself. All I'm going to be doing is talking about my perspective on what I think self-control is, or how I envision having it. So again, my perspective is not the end-all be-all, okay? I don't want that to get misconstrued with anything that I do or speak or have spoken. So with these episodes, I want you guys to understand that none of my topics are just like I'm the end all be all, you know what I mean? This is a conversation, you know? And I wanted you guys to feel like you guys had a voice too. I tell you guys a lot. Speak in the comments. I am more than willing to hear out any of the disagreements, agreements, advice, and things of that nature when it comes to my channel. I love the feedback. It helps me improve and make better videos for you guys. So, please go in the comments. You don't even gotta like the video. I would love for you to like the video. But go in the comments. You don't even have to say anything. Like, you can put a fire emoji. You could put a thumbs down emoji. You know what I'm saying? You can, whatever it is you may feel. It could be quick. It could be long. It don't matter. I'm here for the feedback to make better videos, better topic, better pizza. Nah, I'm playing. But nah. Anyway, self-control. I've learned as I've gotten older and gotten in different positions and gotten in different places in my life, I don't really have as much self-control as people think that I have. I think I'm just really good at emotional placement. See, for me, I've pretty much mastered time and place. And I do that for everything. And when people assume that, oh, he has it well under control under the worst of circumstances, it's not necessarily true. In the public eye, I may come off as somebody who has it very well handled and things of that nature, but that's only because I have better emotional regulation. And emotional regulation and timing is not necessarily the same thing as self-control. put it this way, it's almost like a mask, if you will. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have some form of self-control, but what I'm saying is it's a variation, if that makes sense. I'm capable of, in front of you, being completely fine with a lot of things that most people will not. But behind closed doors, I feel a certain type of way. I actually reflect. I actually feel. I actually go through the hardships of whatever was going on or happening. And maybe that can be self-control. And I'm getting this completely wrong. I'm completely open to that. Maybe I'm actually explaining what self-control is. But in my mind, I feel that self-control is something that is hard for a lot of people to do. Self-control is very difficult, in my opinion, for a lot of men in certain predicaments, and sometimes a lot of women. I feel that women have a lot more physical self-control than men do. But men have a lot more mental self-control. And when I say that, people aren't going to necessarily like that. And that's going to affect a lot of people. When I say that, I don't want you to think that I'm putting men or women above one another. I'm only simply displaying the strengths and weaknesses of both, if that makes sense. Look at it this way: when I say men have better emotional self-control. My bad, I had to pause real quick. But when I say that, I don't mean that men's self-control is better or women's self-control is better. All I'm saying is putting the two together. Men's failure lies in lust, which is why a lot of the time, again, not all. Let me say that I want to make sure that that is something that you hear, because that is something a lot of people don't pay attention to. And when I say these things, they automatically disagree because they think I'm putting everybody in one box. No. There are some men out there who have physical self-control that do not have to deal with lust or bodily differences, can maneuver with women being in spaces without feeling uncomfortable or feeling a certain type of emotion or feeling when around a woman or around a man. I'm not going to discriminate what it is that you may like, but there are men who are capable of that control. But a lot of men, just based on historical facts, statistics, being a man myself, there are cases in which men's physical self-control is a lot lower, in my opinion, than women. Because of lust, which a lot of men, even in the Bible, struggle with. And that's said a lot. Now, I'm not saying that can't be managed or looked over. But our strength lies in emotional self-control. We tend to be the ones to take more mentally and emotionally than women on most cases. Now, let me explain what I mean by that by giving the women's side. Again, I am not telling you what you are, okay? I'm only giving my perspective of what I think. But in my opinion, I feel that women are more physically, have more physical self-control, but don't have as much emotional self-control than men. In my experience, women are a lot quicker to get angry, a lot quicker to feel something than a man would. They oftentimes make a lot of their decisions based on their emotions and not off of fact, what's in front of them, probability, safety call, all those types of things. They're not looking at that. It is mostly about, I felt this way, so I did this. And a lot of the times, if their feelings aren't in the right place, they make wrong decisions. If something didn't feel good, they tend to get upset about it, and everyone feels like they have to cater to that. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, because that's what makes us who we are. As men and women, we have our differences, and those two differences are the key to why men and women need each other, because as men have more emotional self-control regulation, we are able to cater to the woman who does or has the lack of. And women having more physical helps the man in that sense control his regulated physical aspects, in the sense of being able to be with a woman and kind of how would I say this? You can't really necessarily mask lust, but you can suppress it in a sense. But that's another topic for another day. We're talking about self-control here. In my opinion, self-control is a lot harder to have or do or deal with when put in difficult situations. For anybody. It's hard for you to, handle something appropriately when stuck in a bind. I believe that for anybody. So, I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. No, this is not a personal instance or about anyone. Okay, this is merely an example made up in my mind. I'm not thinking about anything like that. If two people are in an argument, or let me not even put it that way. If there is something that is disagreed upon, and one person decides that their emotions are bigger than the problem, and they decide to kind of lead with that, and another person sees that, although it may affect them or may make them feel a certain type of way, they kind of stray away from that feeling and work towards the actual problem while also emotionally regulating the other person. Not only are they capable of doing that, they're also able to solve the problem and work on their own issues as well. That to me gives the most self-control. And as you can tell, self-control is a very difficult thing for even me, because I'm still learning it myself. And that is something that is a journey, because you guys may not see it, and those of you watching that may know me don't really see my anger in that particular sense, or my lack of self-control in a lot of situations. But I know that my family definitely has seen where I can lose control, or where my self-awareness wasn't there to a certain degree. So in my experience, I'm learning what self-control even really looks like, what it means, the value of it, and just how to be better with it. Because, believe it or not, even making these videos is helping teach me self-control. Because not only do I have to speak to you guys, well, I don't have to speak to you guys, you know what I'm saying? I want to. It allows me to actually not go on the haywire and just spew whatever hatred or my emotions feel at that moment. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you. Not every day I'm okay. There may be some videos where you may notice it. There may be videos where you may not. Self-control to me is still doing what needs to be done, even when your emotions aren't feeling the best. And that could be a different word, and I'm completely misusing what self-control even is. Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, to me, self-control is kind of like time and place. When I go to work, if I feel a certain type of way, or I'm not at the best of my ability, that has nothing to do with my job. I can't go into my work with my emotional feelings and put that on everybody else, ruining my team. So maybe